I believe it was Albert Einstein who once said that the textbook definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result. Well, for my Minnesota Vikings, they've been doing the same thing for the last at least 19 years that I've been watching, and they have valued it, what I'm about to say, i.e. their running game, for a long time. And rightfully so. I mean, you get running backs like Chuck Foreman. You get running backs like Adrian Peterson. I mean, Robert Smith. There's so many running backs we could go in on a line on. But to me, what it comes down to is the fact that it's time for change. And I think that this last Sunday against the Rams, this last game, it proved a lot. It proved that, yes, the running game can be effective, but it's not the direction that the Vikings need to go in. The Minnesota Vikings need to build around Justin Jefferson. What does that mean? That means actually building an offensive line that is meant to sit on its haunches and pass block for longer than 5 seconds. It means that the Vikings need to go out and get a quarterback. Kirk Cousins, I think he has had a career year. He has not been the problem in my book, even though his last couple games have been a little meh. He is not the problem. The Vikings need to build around Justin Jefferson. He is a premier talent in the NFL. He is the reason that the Vikings are truly, other than Dalvin Cook, and I know the Vikings have some other weapons like Adam Thielen, but he's out. But when Adam Thielen is out, Justin Jefferson is clearly the guy. Even when Thielen is in, Mr. Jefferson is more of the number one wide receiver in that scenario. So I think the time has come for the Vikings to let it go. As far as the running game, like, yes, you will still run the ball effectively. You will still keep defenses honest. But the focal point of this offseason needs to be making a transition from an offense that runs the football to it's time. It's time to just develop with the times. It's just this has not worked. If we look at the last couple of successful seasons, like we're talking about at least NFC Championship bursts for the Vikings. 2009, Brett Favre, amazing. Like they had Adrian Peterson already, but even he alone was only able to get the team 10-6, and the year before that, by the way, 10-6, get them in the first round of the playoffs, in which they lost to the Eagles. Okay, well then the next year they brought in Brett Favre, went 13-3, 12-4, or whatever it was, and I mean, that was probably one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history that entire season, at least top 10. And it's like, I get it. It's scary. It's scary to try something new. It's scary to put yourself out there and like just at least just admit that this experiment has been a failure. But the matter of the fact, or the harsh reality of the situation is, it's time for change. And the Vikings need to find a way. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's drafting a quarterback number one or whatever they got to do. But I mean, just building around Justin Jefferson, who has almost 200 catches in his first 2 seasons in the NFL, which isn't, it's whatever. 100 catch season doesn't necessarily mean that they're playing well. But if you look at his stats, I mean, he's already breaking records. He's broken the single season receiving record for a rookie. He now has the record for most receiving yards through the first 2 seasons of his NFL career, beating Odell Beckham Jr. And it just comes back down to the fact that, again, the Vikings not only need to make a change, they need to just completely change everything needs to be changed. It needs to be revolved around the passing game. It needs to be revolved around putting points up on the board. And that's the thing about Justin Jefferson. I feel like a lot of fans are already giving him a lot of hate because what he said about Clint Kubiak's play calling, which he was right, absolutely right in my mind. I don't know if you guys watched America's Game. I watched the story of the 93, 92, 94 or whatever Cowboys, where it's like Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, those boys. When Michael Irvin, when he saw that Jimmy Johnson was going to come in and coach the team, he said that in that documentary, he said that he had told everybody he had told Jimmy Johnson, that this guy needs to go, this guy needs to go, this guy needs to go. I compare Justin Jefferson a lot to Michael Irvin in the fact that his cockiness is not him being like he needs to get the ball a lot. His cockiness comes from confidence, number one, and number two, he wants to win. He won a national championship at LSU. He's used to winning, and that's what we should be used to as Vikings fans. We should be used to it, but I mean, not any meaningful wins, I guess, is the best way to put it. He's not being cocky. He's not trying to tear the team apart. And he's not a diva. He wants to win. And if we look at receivers like Chris Carter is a great example. He was the guy that said, hey, if we can score more points than the other team, the case of the 1998 missing rings with the Minnesota Vikings, if we score more points than the other team, we win. That's the transition we need. We need Justin Jefferson. We need Adam Thielen. We need a new quarterback. Again, not Kirk Cousins' fault, but a new quarterback that will allow the team to sign an actual offensive line. Now, there are some pieces like Christian Darrisaw, like Ezra Cleveland. I like Brian O'Neill as well. So just a center and another guard that can just pass block. And yes, run the ball again. We covered that, but the time has come for change. And I'm tired of people dogging on Jefferson because he's stating facts out here. The fact of the matter is the Vikings need a transition. If they are going to be serious contenders in the NFL moving forward, they need to build around Justin Jefferson. And they need to start throwing the football and putting up points on the scoreboard. And again, it's not cockiness. It's just the man that's trying to state facts and win as a team. I bet you Justin Jefferson, if he had 50 catches right now for under 1,000 yards, and if the Vikings were what's this, week 15, week 16, 17, if the Vikings were undefeated right now, I'm not even going to do the math. If the Vikings were undefeated right now, he wouldn't care. He's used to winning. And I say we set up the team so that it can give him and the rest of the fan base, everybody, just the chance to win. This team has the talent in a lot of phases, but it needs to make some serious changes, starting with building around Justin Jefferson. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. Check out our website at thesportsbriefpodcast.com. Also, in the description down below, you'll find many things, including a link for our website, a link for all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, a link to our iTunes. Give us a listen and sub there. We would greatly appreciate it. And then finally, if you have anything you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would be glad to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Vikings needing to build around Justin Jefferson.